You know, I would like to do a survey on what people that think that we define God properly and what people think that we really haven't put it together correctly. That would be really cool to see what society worldwide really thinks about where we are on how we've enhanced or taken God into account as to what we've learned. I've wrote a book, and this book I put together 10 professionals like Oprah, Anthony Robbins, John Gray, um, Deepak Chopra, um, all of these different professionals. And what I'm doing is I'm saying that by putting all of these people together, I can define God correctly. Now, it's a little bit different than what the churches are teaching now. It's a little bit different that, once you have a belief that it's so ingrained that somebody's going to go to miles to back that belief up, even though it may not be true. And it doesn't matter if it's true or not, because I'm just after the truth. Now, this truth came to me 25 years ago from when I got divorced. When I was got divorced on something I didn't want. I had 3 kids, and she absconded and went across the country. And my 3 kids grew up without their real father or the likelihood of really even knowing because I had to fight tooth and nail just to see him. Just like she had to fight tooth and nail to get money. It's crazy how this all works. And now, after really putting everything together, I'm I'm amazed that if God were taught correctly, not through a belief or not through faith, but through a rock solid knowing. Now, what I did is 5 years ago, Oprah came out with a tough questions about God. So, to make a long story short, I had plenty of time to watch all 26 episodes because I had just woken up from a coma, believe it or not. And this coma was prompted because I think I lost 10 houses all at once at that time. So when I woke up, I was just, okay, I've got to figure this out because what's being taught, it doesn't really settle with me. So I had to break it down. And 25 years ago, right after I got divorced, I actually did a documentary, Nobody Wins, Divorce in Modern America. Man, this thing won national awards. It was all unbelievable. I interviewed John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, Kevin Lehman, wrote the birth order books, and I did a few others. I mean, the thing did very well, but the truth is, it didn't do it for me. It didn't answer the questions I wanted to know. And really, it was, why did I get divorced? I mean, it was a pretty simple question. Now, 25 years later, believe it or not, I answered that question. And and it's so simple, but it's so complex of not knowing why. And the truth of the truth is it's the whole truth not being told correctly. Number one is where the churches are off. Now, um, hold on. And the truth is, a year or two after the divorce, um, I had a child with somebody I'm still with today, 25 years later. And she's Catholic, so, she got an annulment and she wanted me to get an annulment. I said, all right, I'll see what I can do. And the church wouldn't give me one. They said, as far as we're concerned, you're still married to your ex wife. And I said, okay, so what does it take to get an annulment? So, uh, I was amazed with that. And then I found out where the churches are totally wrong. I mean, an annulment to consummate a marriage is to have sex. But what the churches don't realize is to consummate a marriage humanly is to have sex. To consummate a marriage spiritually is to have a child. And I have 3 of them with my ex-wife. So therefore we're tied for life. They carry the issues that we don't resolve. And I haven't talked to her for 25 years, maybe 10 minutes as much as I've talked with her. So it's really just crazy. So the book I wrote really explains God from the divorce I had 25 years ago. And this is an internal thing that it manifested to, wow, this is amazing. And then, back in 2015, Oprah did this God thing, and I actually enhanced it, and I found what she missed. And I would love to explain it to her. I think I even wrote it out in the book. And I also wrote out how I have this, the book's entitled Your Name. You can have any answers to life and in life. The formula is inside. Okay? So I originally started the cover, The Human Race is God Too. Also, He is your name, you, self. But Amazon wouldn't let me advertise the book because God was in the cover. And I was like, well, it's not what you think. I'm not a religious guy. So they said, we don't care. You can't advertise. I said, okay, well, then I'll just change it to your name. That's fine with me. So anyway, now it has 2 covers. And so you might get one with your name, or the back of the book, The Human Race is God Too, also your name. So whatever, doesn't mean anything to me. So really, the truth is, after I put all these professionals together, I was just amazed how these pieces in which they taught, and I'm using their teachings, and I expanded on it. Now, I even expanded where these professionals kind of joined together with professors at universities all around the world. And I was like, okay, wow, this is not pretty interesting. And then the next group, the communities of religious leaders. All 3 of these communities came together in my mind of how it defines God as a whole, and pieces of which were all correct. And it's a dimensional thing that really difficult for the mind to adjust and put all together. It's something that you have to be extremely analytical. And I became that because of, I was told back in high school I had a learning disability in English. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? No. Well, later on, we found out it was dyslexia, big deal. Okay, that doesn't mean I can't learn. It means that I have a disconnect from words in language, which is no big deal. But this is why I got to the availability to understand the God thing. And now it makes more sense than anything else in the world. And I'm so glad that I took 5 years to write this book. It is amazing that I sat down and wrote this book out. And I also have got an online course completed about 90%. But the truth is that I want these professionals where I've sent to very prominent spiritual scientists, and I sent them to three of them. Geez, hold on, let me look up their names.